Potapova gone wild, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Brisbane, where Potapova is in trouble. This video is brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use to Fair Dealing and the Digital Millennium Act. That's right, guys. Kimberly Birrell, who is a sleeper, she is getting the job done right now as she stormed out to take this first set from Potapova, who's here after taking out Diana Yastremska. Now, listen, guys, I'm well aware, in my personal opinion, that Potapova she's just a better overall tennis player than Diana Yastremska. I'm aware of that, and I know that, but I wanted Diana to win, right? With this whole situation that's going on, it's very sad. These two ladies, they were good friends at one time. Just go watch the Junior SW19 Championship where Potapova, she just outplayed Yastremska. You could just see there was a difference of level. Now, Diana did storm out to have the better professional career early on, right, before the suspension. And she's been through a lot, especially with that whole country situation. I don't really, this is not a political channel, I understand that, but I'm not a fan of what Putin is doing. I'm not a fan of all that situation. And yes, I'm not a fan of everything that's going on. I want it to end. It needs to stop. It needs to end. But I was just rooting for Diana. But I'm well aware that Potapova, she's just a better player. I can see that. I understand it. I knew that. Just rooting for the Ukraine. But Potapova right now is in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Kimberly Birrell, who's got the crowd backing her, the winner of this matchup is going to take on the winner of Angelina and Yuyan. That's going to be a good match. That's coming up. Angelina is the underdog. If she's in shape, she should beat Yuyan. I'm sorry. Yuyan is a good player. She's upcoming. Last year was her breakout season on the main tour. But if Angelina's in shape, which she hasn't been, she's been injured, she just hasn't been herself, she should beat Yuyan. Dasha Kina, she's taking on Polina Kunamatova again. Dasha had a 3-hour and 19-minute match yesterday. I've been saying this for years about Dasha. I feel, look, some of the best footwork there is out there, one of the best defenders, but her offense, her serve has got to improve. You know, if she's winning a 6-game set, she's literally losing 2 to 3 service games on her serve. That is just abhorrent. And, you know, with all these ladies complaining about, and I told you guys Dasha would win. She did win, you know, like she was like slight favorite. It was like a pick'em. She did win the match, but the reality here is with all these ladies complaining about the schedule and everything going on, you know, they want a shorter schedule. They don't want all these mandatories. Dasha's complaining about top players not being allowed to play all these 250s. She wants to play more 250s. Now, listen, I feel Dasha just wants to win titles. I feel she wants to win titles. There's nothing wrong with that, but you got players on tour like Osaka that doesn't care about titles. She literally withdrew in Cincinnati a few years back before she was scheduled to face Vika when we all kind of felt Osaka could have played, right? But again, she didn't want to risk anything going into the U.S. Open. Of course, we had the rematch of Vika and Osaka in the final where Osaka would win the title. But I don't know. I just feel Dasha, she wants to win. This is my personal opinion, guys. I have to give you fair criticism. I think it's fair. She's complaining about the 250s while other players are complaining about playing too many 1000s and 500s. I don't know. But on the other side of the draw, we got Ashton Kruger, American, taking on Susan Lemens, who had a great win over Magdalena Freck, 6-2, 6-4. She's a sleeper. She's playing well. I talked about her last season. And we have little sister, Mira Andreeva, taking on Linda Noskova. Listen, Mira's had success against Linda, but if Linda's on her game, last time they played in this portion of the tour, and Linda had a chance to take that match. She really blew it. I think I have to side with Linda in this match. I think Linda can beat Mira Andreeva. This is going to be a good match. Probably one of the better matches I want to see. Ons taking on Elena Evanesian. Elena had a good match against Paula Badosa. But listen, if Elena gives Ons 16, 17 opportunities to break her like Paula Badosa had, Ons is a much better shot maker. She's going to, and Alina's going to get balls back. So to some extent, I do feel like some of these exchanges is going to be like hitting practice for Ons. Alina's going to get balls back. I do question her stamina. She has had stamina issues. We can go back to some of those matches with Clara Towson, Wong, Ostapenko, where Lena Venetian just ran out of gas. But nonetheless, she hasn't been in her best form, and An's New Year resolution is just to be healthy. If Ans is healthy, she beats Elena Venetian. Mary Boo taking on Victoria Azarenka. Yes, we're looking at the draw left here in Brisbane. Bouzkova's a defensive powerhouse. She is, but I mean, if she could push the pace, she can, get Vika, she can get Vika on the back foot in some of these exchanges. But I love how Vika just destroyed Maya Joint, who's very young, explosive. Now, Bouzkova did beat Ostapenko. Has got a lot of power in that punch, but I'm going to side with Azarenka to get past Mary Boo. Putintseva, Sabalenka. Look, head to head, they both beat each other in the past, but I like Azarenka. I like Sabalenka to come through in that matchup. I think she's just going to be a little bit too strong, possibly a little bit too powerful. But back to this match here, guys. As Kimberly Birrell takes the first set, we're on serve, but she's up 2-1 in the second set, 15-30. 5 double faults from Potapova. And right now in this match, Birrell's winning about 75% of her first serves, while Potapova's losing 50% of her first serves, 46% of her second serves. Kimberly Birrell has had 10 opportunities to break Potapova, and this just seems like this is not her day. Of course, the hometown crowd is backing Kimberly Birrell, and these kind of things happen about this time. But again, with the match yesterday, that even though she came through against Yastremska, it wasn't as easy as it looked. They always put on a tough match when they play each other. But I want to head to Auckland, and I want to talk about a match here between Maddie Patty and Jacqueline Christian. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I told you when these two ladies played in Charleston, it was clear that Madison Keys was on a different level than Jacqueline. It was clear. If you watch the match, I covered it. I told you, go find the video. Madison Keys was just on an entire different level than Jacqueline. She had no answer for her, especially that first set. However, Madison Keys coming off of the wrist injury, right? She missed a lot of the first half of the season and the first quarter at least, and she didn't have the stamina. So after the first set, you could tell Madison had a opportunity to just put that match away. You could tell she made a couple of mistakes here and there. Fatigue started to set in. She didn't have her stamina on her just coming back late in the season. And Jacqueline took the second set and she won the third just off of Madison just not being at her optimal level. However, in that first set, you could tell that there's levels to this. Early on in this match here, you could see it as well, as Madison Keys is just, I mean, she nearly had a bagel in the first set. Jacqueline does not have an answer. And the reality here is I'm a big fan of Jacqueline. I've been supporting her, but there's clearly a level here that Jacqueline cannot tap into. Now, I'm going to do my top ranked Americans going into this season. I do kind of want to analyze the first week to see where these ladies are at, to kind of give an accurate list. And right now, Madison Keys is pretty high on my list for Americans. Emma Navarro does not look good early on, eliminated a match she should have won. But the reality here is Jacqueline, the rain started to fall and she wanted out. She had the advantage in the first service game. She could have served, but she's looking towards the umpire like, look, there's drops, literally drops. She wanted out. And what does that tell me? That tells me she needs coaching. Now, a good coach can analyze the match and see what the opponent is doing and give a good game plan, a good strategy to their player and say, he'll do this, do that, and it's going to work. Such as myself, I can watch any of these matches and I can see what these players are doing. And if I were coaching these players, I could give them a good strategy on how to get through. Now, I've said for a while, I think Stefanos was the best in-match coach. He's not with Elena Rybakina anymore. We're going to see how Elena Rybakina does this season. She's been looking a little shaky so far, so keep that in mind. But nonetheless, I think Madison Keys, she's just too good for Jacqueline. I mean, she's nearly spent a decade inside the top 10, so it's nothing against Jacqueline. It's just going to take a little bit of time for her to get there. She is in her mid-20s, but I think you never know when it peaks. Look at like, you never know when it comes together for you. Look at like someone like Jasmine Paolini, who I've been talking about for years. Finally, last year was a big year. The first person ever to make a SW19 and French Open final back-to-back since Serena Williams to do it. That's good company to be in. But let's take a quick look at the Auckland draw, guys. A lot of history here, guys. The Americans are invading Auckland. Listen, guys, look at all these Americans left in the tournament. Katie Volleynet, she's going to take on the winner of Alicia Parks, another American, Greet Menon. Bernarda Pera, another American. She's going to take on the winner of Robin Montgomery. Nay Habinu, another American. Madison Keys, American. It looks like she's advanced. She's going to take on Clara Towson. That's right. Sophia Kennan, an American, eliminated. Naomi Osaka takes out Julia Grab here. She's going to take on the winner, another American, Haley Baptiste or Jody Burrs. There's a lot of good matches here. Stay tuned. I'm your host, Get Energy. But right now, it looks like Madison Keys, as she just got the break, headed to another victory. Jacqueline's in trouble unless she can make some adjustments. Tennis in a minute. We'll be back, guys. Check out the community. Place your vote. Who do you think's going to win? A lot of good matches. I'm primarily interested in watching the match between Robin Montgomery and Nay Habinu. Now, Nay came off of a win against Julia Niemeyer, and I talked about this previously. Julia Niemeyer, she's great on clay, on grass, but on hard, it just seems like her variety is missing. And just my personal opinion, this is the part where I give fair criticism, my feedback. I think her game, if you would have asked me a couple of years ago, I thought she was a rising star. She had that breakout stretch between the French Open and Wimbledon, and I just felt that her variety was really good. But watching her play against Nay, again, it's early in the season, right? Players have to play themselves in shape. Just trying to get to that left forehand, it's not going to work against these top elite players. They have too much variety, and Julia's got to go back to her variety. I just felt she was one-dimensional. And watching Robin get through Hantema, I think Nay has a very comparable style. So I think Robin should be able to come through in that matchup. Nay's got a very comparable style to Hantema. Now, Nay is a lot more experienced on tour than Robin, but early on in the season like this is where the upsets can happen. So I like Robin to come through. A lot more matches. Volley nets over Lee. I told you that would happen. It did go straight sets. But I do, just like I said, volley nets, the longer the rally, she's just going to outpoint Lee. It's just simple as that. Even though Lee had a great win over Sloane, Sloane is the type of player, especially at her age, she's got a lot of business endeavors, a lot of things going on. I just feel, this is my opinion, I don't think Sloane's going to get up for these types of tournaments. I think she's going to get up for the Masters and the Slams. Those are the tournaments she's going to get up for. We know she's going to be great during that French Open stretch, pick up a lot of points during that clay stretch, and just keep her inside the top 50. But the reality here is, like I said, the longer the rally with Katie Volleynets and Ann Lee, Volleynets is just a superior shot maker. There's just nothing Ann Lee is going to be able to do about it. That's exactly how it went. The match with Haley Baptiste and Jody Burrs. Jody's coming back off of injury. I think that's going to be a good match to look into. Haley's got a good variety. She's literally playing 12 months out of the year, so I don't think form is going to be an issue for her. For Jody, she's come back playing a lot of lower level matches. I've covered a lot of them. 25-13 last year. She did win Dubai, the ITF, where she beat Polina Kudermetova, who's playing at a high level. We saw her take out Ludmilla. So the reality here is, I wouldn't put it past Jody to do something here against Haley Baptiste, but it's going to be a different matchup than Polina. Haley's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. Haley has good drop shots, good slices. She'll be able to redirect the pace and mix it up from all angles. So Jody primarily is a baseliner. So Haley's going to make her work. So that's going to be a very interesting match. The winner of that match is going to take on Naomi Osaka, who I think Osaka beats either one of them. Looking at the draw, this is without a doubt Osaka's tournament to lose. There's no one left in this draw that should beat Osaka. The only one that could have a chance is Madison Keys, and that could very well be